Hello everyone. Today's topic is a very common topic that happened all the time between Israel and other Middle Eastern nations because Israel is a nation always shares the land and the maritime boundary with other hostile nations. Those who never recognized Israel as a nation state except the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and the some other nations like the Sudan. In the recent time during ex-President Donald Trump diplomacy within the Abraham Accord, these nations recognized the Israel and these nations are issuing the passport to Israel and Israel is issuing the passport to its citizens to visit these nations. In recent time, Israeli Prime Minister has visited the United Arab Emirates to sign the deals regarding the different issues, regarding the business, regarding the defense ties, and these amicable relations has almost stabilized the situations over there. But Syria have never recognized Israel as a legitimate state and does not accept the Israeli passport as legally valid for Syrian territory. Israel likewise regards Syria as a hostile nation and generally prohibits its citizens from traveling there. But in some exceptional cases, they allow its citizens to visit the Syria. Israel is fighting war against its neighbor that includes Syria since inception of Israel in 1948, especially on the issue of Palestine. But in recent days, their issue has changed. Syria blaming the Israel for colluding with its civil war issue, and Israel blaming Iran as a state who is responsible for instability in the region. But in recent time, an event happened, and recently a violent attack has happened in Syrian port called Latakia, according to the Syria's news agency outfit Sana. However, neither the cross-border violence, the threats are new. There have been almost routine attacks in the form of rocket fire as well as the assassinations and the air raids are very common. But the situations have intensified since the war in the Syria began in 2011. So, in recent events, Israel warplanes fired a number of missiles at the port of coastal city of Latakia, according to Syrian news outfits. That attack happened from Mediterranean Sea, but for years Israel avoided the attack strikes because the Latakia, due to the vicinity of Russian forces, those who are stationed to fight against ISIS. Now the question is, Israel was avoiding that city, and then why they attack now? Why they are so adamant to attack this city now? Recently, because reason is not Syria, reason is Iran. In recent days, the Iran trying to increase their influence by sending help in the form of weapons to its ally, especially Hezbollah terror group in Lebanon and Hamas in Palestine. And Israel is victim of these groups attack from their respective soils. Recently, what Iran was doing, they were using the Latakia port terminal to transport the advanced munitions through it to its proxies in the region, especially the Hezbollah in Lebanon. In the recent days, the Hezbollah wreaked havoc in Lebanon. Lebanon is on the verge of the civil war. This country is multi-ethnical and country and dominated by three main religious groups or sects. But the Hezbollah trying to capture the power unilaterally in Lebanon slipped into the situations of the civil war, then that country would turn into another Syria or Yemen that Israel do not want because the stability is important in this time of COVID-19. I cannot come up with any conclusions because that regions allows always volatile since the Stone Age, and when the oil came into an limelight, the situations become fluid. They started fighting each other for economical dominance along with the military dominance. There are three power corridor in Iran, in Saudi Arabia and the Israel. If they cannot mutually solve their own problem, no one can because United Nations and the so many other nations have tried to compensate the power struggle in that regions, but nobody was able to come up with solutions. And now we reach to an question. And our today's question is, which water body connects the Israel to Red Sea? The options in just like this way. The first is Gulf of Aqaba, second is Gulf of Eilat, and Babar el Mandeb, third one. But the options are there in later form. The first one is one or two, second is both one and two, third is one, two, and three, fourth is none of the above. The three options I have gave to you, that according to that three options, the options you have to choose beneath. And the questions now, the another question related to the UPSC exams, which is an exam conducted by the UPSC in India. And how effectively, the question is, how effectively is Abraham Accord to bring the peace in the region critically analyzed? If anyone wants to write me an answer, please send me the answer to my email address that I have already gave to you. My email address is tuhin.power.academy@gmail.com. Thank you very much.